Hello, I'm Tanya Ryman from Platypi Designs, and I am your website strategist. In a previous blog post, which was called Part 1, Avoiding Inconsistent Image Sizes, I went through the process on how to figure out the height and the width of a specific image. In this case, the example I used was a blog post image. Blog post images in WordPress a lot of the times get reused, so I'll show you an example of a blog post that I created. So this is the one about Google Analytics, and so you can see that I have a very large image. This is my featured image, and then I've got a bunch of text. However, this image shows up in a variety of different locations, one of which is on my blog listing page. So here you can see that we have basically our information about our blog, a little blurb, and then a complementary image. What you may notice is that all my complementary images are the same size. So they are fixed height, fixed width images, always the exact same, in order for us to make sure that we get a consistent result. If we uploaded an image that was, let's say, landscape but not as tall, then the image might end up here. And so all of a sudden you end up with these images. If you aren't watching the fixed height, fixed width aspect of it, you may get a page that looks kind of ratty because things are just not uniform in size. And so when people see that, it can give them the idea that it's a little unprofessional. So we are going to show you how to size images for fixed height, fixed width. So in part 1 of avoiding inconsistent image sizes, I taught you how to right click on an image and then go to view image info. We are looking at this number here, not the one that says scaled to. So in this case, we now know that the image has to be 1000 pixels wide by 667 pixels tall. So now that we know that information, what we're going to do is we're going to go to an online tool called photopea.com. This is the website address up here. And this is a free online tool that will help you achieve the results that you're looking for. When you come here, you will get this massive disclaimer letting you know essentially that this is not Adobe Photoshop or GIMP or SketchUp. However, it can edit files that are Adobe Photoshop, GIMP, and SketchUp. So click that disclaimer down. You don't need to worry about it. What we're going to do now is we're going to create a canvas that is 1000 pixels wide by 667 tall. So I'm going to go into File, New, and I'm going to give my project a name. So let's say Blog Waterfall. You'll see in a second why it's called Waterfall. So 1000 pixels by 667. I'm going to make sure that it says pixels, so px is pixels, and I'm going to create. So this is now my canvas size. So you can see that this is a landscape orientation, so it is wider than it is tall. So we're always going to stick with that orientation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my photo that I want to put into this canvas. Into File, Open, find the image that I'm looking for, which happens to be on my desktop. I'm going to open it. It uploads into Photopea, and now you can see I've got two tabs open, two panels. One called Blog Waterfall, the other one is my image. Here you'll actually notice a big difference. This is a portrait orientation, so it's taller rather than wide. And so what's going to happen is when we put this photo into our other canvas, we're going to have to come to terms with the fact that part of this image is going to be cropped off. Because what we're trying to avoid is, if I were to size this now to 667 tall so that it fit in the height, it would only take up a certain amount of space and it wouldn't fill in the full width. So you'd end up with white space on the left hand side and white space on the right hand side, and that's something we're trying to avoid. So we're going to go back to the image. I'm going to go into Image and then Image Size to see what size I'm looking at. And as you can see, it's well above the 1000 pixels wide and definitely well above the 667 pixels tall. So this image is from my digital camera. and essentially it is an image that's ready for print, so it's high resolution. What we're going to do is we're actually going to take this number down and we're going to make it the perfect width of our blog post image. So basically the same canvas size, or the same size as the width that we found out when we right clicked and viewed image info. We still are going to remain in pixels. We do want this little checkbox checked. Keep aspect ratio means that we want to make sure that the image just doesn't change the width and keep the same height, else it'll look really squished. So I'm going to click in this gray space here, and you'll notice that the height actually changes itself appropriately. So now it's 1000 by 1333. I'm going to click OK, and that image resizes. You'll notice that you have a panel on the left hand side that actually shows you a variety of different tools. If you want to see more of the image, you're more than welcome to click on the zoom tool and zoom in on the image as needed. If you do not need it zoomed in, you can always hold, oh, there we go. You can always hold your Alt key down and then click to reverse out. Anywho, so what we're going to do is now we're going to go back to our keyboard and we're going to Control All for, Control A for control all of it, or select all of it. Then we're going to do Control C for copy. We're moving over to our other canvas, and now we're going to do Control V for paste. So you'll notice that on the right hand side we now have two layers in place. If I turn the eyeball off on the waterfall layer, it will not show. If I turn it back on, it will show. If I want to move this image, we're right now on zoom, so what I want to do is I want to be able to move that image up and down. So I'm going to go to the move tool at the top left hand corner, and now I can left click and drag as needed. If I drag too much to the left and to the right, you'll notice that we get white space, remembering that we sized this image for the perfect width of this canvas. So that's the reason we have white space. So I can now just drag the image to what I want it to look like. Let's say we want it here. And so what I can do now is I can go into File, Export As. Because it is a photo, I'm going to click JPEG. And now this photo is ready to be saved out. The width it confirms is 1000, height is 667, which is exactly what we want. You can move this slider as necessary. I actually like to have my quality at 60. You can also delete this and then write in the word 60 if you want to as well. When I click save, essentially what it's going to do is it's actually going to ask me to download the image to my hard drive, and it will basically tell me that my file name is blog_waterfall. If you didn't actually change the project name to something like this, it'll just call it new project. And all you have to do is click save file. You're not going to open with it, save file, and then you click OK. That downloads it to your hard drive, usually to your downloads folder, and then that image is ready for you to use whenever you're creating your new blog post and adding it in as a featured image. At this point, you are done with Photopea completely. You don't have to worry about it. If you want to save this canvas size for later, you're more than welcome to. You can save the PSD file down to your hard drive as well by doing File, Save as PSD, and then you can come back and you're more than welcome to open up this rather than just create a new one. But at this point, you're pretty much done with Photopea, so you don't have to worry about it. And that is basically how we make sure that our images are always the same height and same width in order to get a consistent result. If you have any questions for me, by all means get in contact with me, the way you can do that is by going to my website at platypidesigns.com. Go to the contact page where there's our phone number and a form if you want to fill it out, and I will help you as best as I can. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you later.